Yo, what's up guys? In my last video, somebody suggested going in depth on mentality, and because that's a very broad subject, I asked if he had anything specific in mind, and he said maybe some insight on the right mentality to keep when you're in a losing situation or facing an opponent that plays mind tricks, like bait and misdirection. When I read this, the first thing that came to my mind was this fight with All Might and Nomu, and this line, and I was like, perfect. So I thought about it, and I concluded with the idea that this isn't necessarily just a mentality thing, but it's about your willingness and ability to adapt to certain situations in order to come out on top. Adaptation is also a very broad subject for Fortnite. For this video, I'm going to talk about adapting during a fight and on the fly, which you'd see pros at the highest level do because it's natural for them. In real life, adaptation is what allows species to live for as long as they have, to put it simply. But we're not nerds, so we're not going to talk about real life. In Fortnite, and in most video games in general, adaptation works the same way. You learn, you adapt, you get good, you live longer. Everybody has the ability to adapt. How do I know that? Think about when you first played Fortnite. Most likely, you're very passive, barely built, you sat in bushes. Now, most people are aggressive, everybody builds, and sit in bigger bushes. Now if you're thinking, you're telling me I can adapt, but why am I still getting clapped? To put it simply, it's just more natural for some people to adapt than it is for others. People learn at different paces, and people have different levels of knowledge about the game. Obviously, the more knowledge you have of the game in its entirety, the more things you can expect from players, and you're less likely to be caught off guard from certain edits, build combinations, and map knowledge, on top of everything else you could learn from the game. For example, that one clip of Ninja getting broken down by this dude by doing 2 simple edits, making Ninja fall to his death. I didn't know that was even possible, and I don't know how that guy thought of it or where he got it from, and clearly, Ninja didn't see it as a possible outcome either. I saw that clip, and now you'll never see me pushing someone without connecting myself, because now I see that as a potential outcome. I don't have to experience it to learn from it, I just learned from watching his mistake, and now I keep it with the rest of my knowledge about the game. Okay, so let me go back and talk about the situation given to me earlier this video, and how to go about it. So the losing situation part, because there are so many different ways to be in a losing situation, whether it's being storm pushed, the storm's in Africa, no heals, you have a great pump, the list goes on. So I'm going to talk about versing somebody who plays mind tricks since it's more specific. So for this situation, let's assume you both have 200 health, both have extra shields, identical loadouts, both decently mechanically skilled, and you don't have to worry about storm anytime soon. The only difference between you two are the decisions you make. Majority of players are on the receiving end of mind tricks. There aren't too many people that consistently rely on tricks to get their kills, but when you're against someone that's using them, you have to assume that they're a smart player. They're not just some mechanically goated sweat who plays stupid aggressive like most people that appear to be good, at first glance. Once you acknowledge they're a player who knows what they're doing, you have to know you can't play the way you usually play. This is where you have to adapt. Keep in mind, the way you react, the mind tricking opponent is always taking mental notes on how you react to everything they do, pinpoint the type of player you are and your tendencies until they're confident to go for the kill. So this is when you have to think about what have you shown this player and try to guess what type of player he thinks you are. Were you boxing up again and again, leading him to believe you're a passive chicken? Did you fall for his baits and tricks every time, which makes him believe like you're not used to fighting against tricks? Whatever it is, you have to think, and you have to think fast. Once you think you figured out what kind of player he thinks you are, you have to adapt your playstyle to what you think will catch them off guard. If he thinks you're a passive chicken, he'll be super confident, aggressive, and impatient because they just want to clean you up and move on. So when they come to pickaxe your box, instead of editing out and boxing up again like you've done the past few times, open a wide edit. Watch him pickaxe the air. See the fear in his eyes. Just shoot him in the face. If he doesn't die, then he'll probably just retreat and whatnot, but now you're on the offensive, and hopefully you've already done some damage. From there, obviously you want to pressure them as much as you can, because obviously you don't want them to heal, and if they're able to reset, then at that point, it's understanding your opponent all over again, because now they have a different understanding of you. Again, you know the player is smart when he did mind tricks. It's all about reading your opponent during the fight. I know all this thought processing and analyzing, it's a lot to hear, and it's a lot to take in, but that's the kind of analysis you have to run through when you're in fights and trying to adapt and understand your opponents. Eventually, there'll be certain types of stereotypical players that you'll come across, and as you have more experience, you'll already have a go-to plan for dealing with them. The more you play and understand how others play, you'll adapt to your situations and opponents without even thinking about it. Keep in mind, this definitely takes time, and it won't be something you master right after watching this video. I used to die to the same aggro type players all the time, and it was frustrating, but eventually I learned their general mindset, and now the aggro players are literally my favorite people to kill, because they think they're nice, but they don't play smart at all. But anyways, I hope this video points you in the right direction as far as adapting during a fight. It's not an easy thing to teach, and it's also not an easy thing to just learn like that. Like I said, it's much more natural for some than it is for others. That's just how it is, because it's based off your ability to learn. That being said, good luck on your path to improvement. Let me know if you have any other video suggestions, and thank you so much for 100 subscribers. I know it's not significant, but it's the beginning, and I wanted to thank and appreciate you guys for being where it all starts. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.